So guys, I'm going through the tutorial, okay, and the initial tutorial was a zip file that I downloaded to. Initial file was a zip file that got downloaded to the to your file system Explorer, and it's there where you can get to Explorer, right? Your downloads go into your downloads, right? And then from the downloads, I just created a directory under users, and I just titled it workspace, and I unzip that tutorial right there. And then I open it in Visual Studio, which is right here, guys. Well, it's pretty cool. When I was going through the tutorial, it wanted me to create a component, right? And normally you'll type that component by hand. Normally they wanted me to create this component, but I went ahead and I used AI. And so what I basically asked AI was, I said, generate a new component called home. And it went through its steps, right? Figuring out what it did. And not only did it actually created the home component, which was pretty cool. So it created the home component, the CSS. It did all that, guys. Now, so you're gonna have to read the documentation, but normally if you read about, and you gotta read something like HTML. If you read about HTML in 24 hours or something like that, you'll know that every website usually has an index.html page. That's your, excuse me guys, my allergies. So that's basically the start of your site. So basically, and then you'll know that the body, this is where your website actually goes in. But for Angular, you see this here. This is kind of like a reference point called app root, right? So if you look at app root, that's where your website is actually going to appear at. Under here, guys, we have so these are our TypeScript. This is our CSS file, and config, right? I guess that's the config TypeScript. But under your app TSS, you see selector. So basically, this is a component. So basically, what it's saying, that this component is going to go where this selector is app root. So when we went to index, we saw app root right there. So basically what this is saying is that the code right here is going to display where that app root is. So now we know how this component gets to app root, but inside the component, there is the HTML code that I just copied, and it has another selector called app home, right? App home, and it defines a variable called title, right? And under here, there's another selector. But if you look at this template here, which again is going to appear in our HTML, it says that we have this header, and we have this header with this class brand name, and look at that, there's an image tag. So this is where this image tag is coming from right there. Okay, and then underneath it, it has a selection. You see how it's a different color. I'm not sure how you can see. You see that home, welcome to home. Well, that section, welcome to home, has another tag, right? Reference app home. Now, this is the component. I asked ChatGPT. Is it ChatGPT? Yeah, I asked ChatGPT, and it created this home. You remember this app home right there, guys? Check what it did. It did this. So you see how its selector, the code here, is going to appear at app home. It's a standalone component, but the template URL, it's referencing this file right there. So it's this HTML that's going to appear right there. And you see how we have home, and then the welcome to home, which is just referencing a variable, a TypeScript variable, and that's in the TypeScript right there. So we're going to continue on with this tutorial. So when I first did this a long time ago, there was no AI with integrated within Visual Studio. So now that I'm doing it again, guys, and again, you may not get it the first time. I ain't get this the first time, the second time, the third time, but I'm not giving up. Why do this tutorial? I'm going to see how I can use AI to do this tutorial, and then I can compare what AI is generating to what this tutorial is trying to teach us. So right now, we're just moving forward in this tutorial. We're still on the first Angular app. It looks like it wants us to add a button that we'll later be doing for search and homes, I believe. So we're going to be adding this button here under this template, home template right here. So under this home template here. But since AI generated this for me, I'm not going to see any HTML code here. See under template, it wants us to add this here. But remember, this is a template URL. So it's, you see that's different. There's a template where you can add code, and there's a template where you can add reference HTML page, which is right here. So that's our HTML page. So actually, instead of adding that to the TS, guys, we're just going to take this right here and we're going to just copy and paste this code. So all this is doing is adding a button, guys. I'm going to add that button. It looks like right here. I'm just going to paste that code right there, guys. And then it looks like after there, guys, so that's just going to add a button there. And then it looks like it wants us to go to our, so this is how you, CSS, how you style your website now via this style CSS. So it wants us to go into our home CSS, which is going to be in our home component. So it wants us to go to this home CSS, and it wants us to add these additional styles here. So we'll go ahead and just copy this, guys, and we're just going to go ahead and paste that there. So we went ahead and just pasted that information there. Those are additional styles, I think. And then from there, we're going to confirm. So once I save everything, supposedly we should have a text box with this search. And why is that? Should we have a text box with this search? Because there it goes. You see that, guys? And just learning basic HTML, you know that input is going to create a text box and the button is going to create a button. So now if we come over here and we save all, guys, and then we go up here, and then it's already refreshed. As soon as I saved it, it got refreshed automatically, and there you go, guys. So I'm just following this tutorial, and actually, guys, I think, I'm not sure how many tutorials there are, but when we start creating this web app, we're not going to start from scratch, guys. We're going to just grab one of these tutorials that we created, and we're just going to try to expand from there. So we're continuing on. I don't know how long this is going to take to get through these tutorials, but you know, you gotta do this. Maybe figure out an hour, 2 hours per day. Try to get through this. Put in more time on the weekend in between fixing Mini Coopers. So let's continue on, because the thing is, you know, we're not going to make, I mean, we can make a little money fixing Mini Coopers, but I don't think we're going to be able to make $15,000 a month fixing Mini Coopers part-time. I don't think that's possible. So we have to figure out another stream of revenue that can be generated, you know, while we're sleeping. You know, only time I can generate revenue fixing Mini Coopers is when I'm fixing Mini Coopers. But what happens when I'm not fixing Mini Coopers? I'm not making any money part time. So the only way I can make money part-time when I'm not fixing Mini Coopers is I gotta create some type of web app. So that's what we're working on right now. So we're continuing on.